Hello and welcome to NewsFeed on Trust TV. My name is Dr. Siakubuzala, bringing in trending stories that people are talking about and sharing around the globe today, and also their opinions on such issues. NFF should ban Osimhen for Finidi outburst, says Peterside. Pray for Tinubu, APC Secretary urges Nigerians. Federal government pushes 62,000 naira pay despite Labour's opposition. Frost spotted on top of volcanoes en masse. Now, top one was trending. The National Secretary of the All Progressives Congress, Senator Ajibola Basiru, has urged Nigerians to continue to pray for President Bola Tinubu for his administration to succeed in piloting the affairs of the country. Basiru spoke on Sunday after observing the 2 rakat prayers in marking this year's Eid celebration at the Osogbo Central Eid Praying Ground in Okebale, Osogbo, Osun State capital. Now, someone said, pray for the man who thinks 100,000 naira is too much to pay workers in these difficult times. Another person said, no need for prayer. All what Nigeria needs is trustworthiness and accountability. Another wrote, Inshallah, so that he will do right things. Now, the presidency has reacted to a report published in the New York Times criticizing the Nigerian economy as facing the worst trajectory in a generation. Special Advisor to the President on Information and Strategy, Bayo Onanugas, responded on Sunday to the report by Ruth McLean and Ismail Awal. According to the presidency, the feature story titled Nigeria Confronts Its Worst Economic Crisis in a Generation and published on June 11th reflected the typical predetermined, reductionist, derogatory and denigrating way foreign media establishments have reported on African countries for decades. Onanuga stated that due to the misleading slant of the report, the government needed to clear up some misconceptions conveyed by the reporters regarding the economic policies of President Bola Tinubu's administration, which took office at the end of May 2023. Now, someone said, he's working for his money. Even Tinubu condemned Jonathan. Only those who benefit from Nigeria will support the government. Another person said, the presidency and damage control can't deny reality. Another person wrote, the denial of a fact does not make it unreal. The facts remain the facts. Now, still talking about the presidency on Sunday insisted that the 250,000 naira minimum wage clamor by organized labor is unsustainable, warning that the federal government cannot channel all its resources to meet such a demand. The warning comes 2 days after the Association of Local Governments of Nigeria raised concerns over the 62,000 naira being proposed by the federal government. The Algon said if approved, the wage may put a strain on the council's financial burden. On Tuesday, May 28, talks between the federal government and organized labor broke down after the government and the organized private sector raised their offers to 62,000 naira. Now, someone said, but why can't the government go back to paying full subsidy and defend the naira? Let's get back the economy on track. Another person wrote, we should rather go the hourly wage for the informal and most black and blue collar jobs than all these unnecessary ones that we are doing. You work 2 hours a day, you get paid 2 hours. You work 8 hours, you get paid for 8 hours. Another person wrote, they should not increase it. Hunger and desperation will surge, leading the people closer to the revolution that is much needed. And the Lagos State Governor Babajide Sanwo-Olu has marked Father's Day with a poignant message celebrating the joys and responsibilities of fatherhood. In a statement on X.com on Sunday, Sanwo-Olu reflected on fatherhood's multifaceted nature, noting that it encompasses responsibility, love, and dedication with a dash of kitchen duties. He emphasized that being a good father requires sacrifice, patience, and a commitment to excellence, which are values that guide him both at home and in his leadership of the state. Sharing photos, he wrote, fatherhood for me is about responsibility, love, and sometimes a call to kitchen duties. It demands sacrifice, patience, and dedication to being the best we can be for our families. As a father and leader, I strive to nurture and provide in every role, ensuring my home thrives. The same dedication I bring to my family, I bring to serving Lagos. The love and principles we uphold in our families guide me daily as your governor. Together, we build a stronger, more caring community. Happy Father's Day. Now, someone said, Governor Babajide Sanwo-Olu kindly fix the country, not the kitchen. Another person said, I hope he went to the market to buy the ingredients. Another wrote, maybe he should have advised former President Buhari when he said his wife belongs to the kitchen. Now, former Vice President Yemi Osinbajo has stated that churches should always ask for the source of the donations they get from people. Speaking at the inaugural lecture in honor of the late senior pastor of Fountain Life Church, Taiwo Odukoya, on Saturday, June 15th, Osinbajo also admonished the church to teach good values that Christians can hold on to when they find themselves in public service. Now, a guy said, I stopped going to church when I needed something and the pastor told me to pray, but the church needed something and he told me to give. Another person said, politicians should also stop diverting public funds. Another person said, stop advising people. When you were in power, did you take anybody's advice? Now let's take a short break, and when we return, you get to know why former Nigerian goalkeeper Idah Peterside has said that Nigerian footballer Victor Osimhen should be banned from the national team. Stay tuned. Welcome back, it's Newsfeed. Now, the Special Assistant to the Kaduna State Governor on School Feeding, Fauzia Buhari Ado, said 4 billion naira is spent annually on school feeding in a bid to curb the growing number of out-of-school children in the state. Buhari Ado disclosed this in a statement made available to newsmen in Abuja on Sunday. She added that over 25,000 students in 51 boarding schools across the 23 local government areas benefit from the program. Now, someone said, let their parents feed them, give them free education instead. Another person said, are they eating long life and prosperity? Another person opined, say wetin happen. They for just share 1 million naira each, it go even remain for the next 10 years. Now, former Nigerian goalkeeper Idah Peterside has said that Nigerian footballer Victor Osimhen should be banned from the national team if he fails to apologize to embattled coach Finidi George for his outburst on social media on Friday. Victor Osimhen recently on Instagram Live called out Finidi George for allegedly saying he cannot beg him to play for the Super Eagles. Take a look.
You need to come out openly and apologize for the things you said to Finidi. Finidi George is Finidi George. Finidi George, my goodness gracious. Finidi George is a legend. You know, for you to just wag your mouth and say things that are unpalatable. If you have issues with a young man, call him, pick up the phone and call him and say this and that. That's what responsible people do. You just show a bit of irresponsibility, and that's unexpected from you. I think the NFF should call Victor Osimhen and ask him to apologize. He must apologize. He has to apologize for ranting his mouth, for just saying things. Our national team is sacred. You know, days where we wore this jersey, we respected it, and people that went before us, he's not the first, neither will he be the last. He owes, especially, you know, he just kept saying things.
Now, someone said, Finidi behaved like a typical Nigerian man, not a professional coach. Now, him them suppose ban Nigeria and giving respect to people that don't deserve it. 5 and 6. Another person said, ban him as soon as possible. He's a bad influence to other players. He lacks professionalism. Another wrote, but that outburst was not necessary. All this attitude is one of the reasons we are where we are as a nation. And the Nigerian Center for Disease Control, NCDC, has blamed the recent cholera outbreak in the country on poor sanitation and a shortage of resources. The agency's Director General, Jide Idris, told newsmen on Saturday, June 15, to discuss the outbreak of the disease, which has already claimed 15 lives in Lagos, calling on government to provide access to clean water and toilets as part of measures to prevent the outbreak of the disease. Now, someone said, but the place where it affects now, no too dirty like some place for mainland. Why not Lekki it affects? Another person said, before, people get fined for not taking care of the environment, but now that doesn't happen anymore. Those officers go around, collect money and return to their offices. Another person advised, bring back Saturday sanitation. Now, water frost has been discovered on some parts of the tallest volcanoes in the solar system. The icy conditions were spotted on top of the Tisis volcanoes, which can be found near Mars's equator. Scientists previously thought it was impossible for frost to exist on this part of Mars, but this discovery shows ice isn't restricted to its north and south polar caps. The amount of frost on the volcanoes is believed to represent about 150,000 tons of water, which is equally the amount of water in around 60 Olympic-sized swimming pools. Now, someone said, focus on Earth first. Another person said, good news, now let the rich plunder mass. Another person opined, let the war barons who disrupt the order of the world be moved here or to Mars. Let the world relax. And now to a typical example of old at heart. Take a look. Up to date with trending stories across the world, follow us and subscribe to all our social media platforms: Facebook, YouTube, Instagram, and X. Until next time, goodbye.